How big will the blue wave be? This is going to be an interesting conversation. We have a couple articles. The first article we're going to talk about is Lindsey Graham and how he complained and he was crying about the record breaking that Jamie Harrison had. And then the next article we're going to talk about is the Montana Senate race. That could be a race that can go from red to blue. And then there's 12 House seats that are very close. So those are the three articles that we're going to talk about right now.
Yeah, Lindsey's crying about the exact same thing that he's doing, right? Remember how he always brag about, like, well, nobody ever raised more money than me. I'm always like, get X amount of money. Now I'm being out like raised. And the Supreme Court was like one of the reasons why like Jamie went like up in donation. And then so this guy is crying by getting beat at the exact same game. Like, and the thing is, he's getting like destroyed. But then now all of a sudden, he wants to like check the sources. But when he raised $30 million,
that is really pathetic, man. Because they want to talk about Act Blue and where the money coming from when everything's documented. They document everything where all the money's coming from. And then I learned they have a copycat organization called Win Red, which is the same damn thing. And most likely, knowing how Republicans do, they probably don't disclose as much things as Act Blue does. So he could kick rocks with that. He just throw anything, see what sticks.
Yeah, I'm wondering how much money are they going to raise grassroots? Are they going to be able to meet as much as what Act Blue does? Go ahead, John.
No, I was just saying that he just like he doesn't want to lose. So right now he just want to go in and complain about everything. He violates law, asking for money in government building, and Democrats don't even do anything about it. But I guarantee you, if it was the other way around, Lindsey Graham would be like, "Oh, they violated this bill, this right. We need to take them out and impeach them." So Republicans, man, they know, like, as much as we hate them and stuff, they play the political reign the right way. They don't care about anything.
Well, I don't know if it's the right way, but they play win at all costs.
Which is working for them.
Izzy, what you think?
I mean, I was looking at the stats before, right? John, you were talking about the how much everybody raised. So, yeah, I mean, Harrison is up 57 million compared to Graham's 28 million, which is more than double, which is insane. He broke the record for the most raised by any Senate candidate in U.S. history. But even still, the race is a toss-up, and I think it leans in Graham's favor. Obviously, it's his state. You can understand that. But, man, I mean, how do you double your opponent who already raised almost 30 million, and you're still in a toss-up state? Like, that's scary to me. I mean
that's because it's a red state, man. The money's what helped them be even close. If not, he wouldn't even be close.
He wouldn't even be close because when they did the race at the beginning, right? Like South Carolina, nobody even thought about it. They thought South Carolina was not even in the part of the conversation.
I agree. It's just scary. But, I mean, at the same time, you have, I don't know if you guys saw, a couple of days ago, there was a report from, I think, the Daily Mail or something like that, where Trump gave a speech to his donors, and he was like, secretly, he was like, I think the Senate is tough, actually. The Senate is very tough. So he was kind of alluding to the fact that, even he thinks that it might be hard for them to keep their majority there. So that's definitely good news in that sense. Totally. It's very rare that he's honest about something, and I think he was probably being honest there.
Yeah, I mean, that's why they're doing everything they can to win and to get the Supreme Court seat, because they
got it.
Yeah, I mean, but this is why, because if they waited any longer, we have so many states that are toss-up that they might not have the majority in the Senate.
And I just want to remind people that
this is
real
the
quick,
thing that like
real
people
quick, John.
like people that watch us needs to understand, like they confirm a Supreme Court justice in less than a month.
A week before the election.
And a week before the election, they spent 265 days, I think it was, fighting a vacancy, saying that, and they got away with it both times. So again, like, at what point do we tell the voters, like, what's going on?
Not only that, John, they said, I remember Ted Cruz said that if Hillary Clinton would have won, they would have held that seat open for like 4 years, for another 4 years, just to keep it open.
And they probably would have got away with it.
Yeah. All right, I want to move on to this other article that we're going to talk about for this segment, and this is from Vox. I want to give a shout out to the author, Elia Nelson, and this is basically talking about the Montana Senate race, and I'm going to read a passage from here. Bullock is certainly not embracing Trump, But he, much like Biden, is running on the idea that there still is attainable compromise between the two parties. Perhaps the biggest sign of danger for Daines is Trump's slipping approval rating in a state he won overwhelmingly 4 years ago. The Montana State University poll found that the president has a 7-point lead over Joe Biden compared to a 16-point polling lead over Hillary Clinton in October of 2016. And the latest polling result echoes a troubling national trend for Republican politics. So my question to you guys, this is another kind of Joe Manchin-ish kind of centrist blue dog Democrat. How much hindrance of the progressive movement is somebody like this going to have? Like, is it worth it? What you guys think? Having him.
Take it.
Yeah.
Take it.
You got to take it.
Okay.
Yeah. Take
Listen,
that.
because with him, you can work something and say, look, like you got 6 years. You got 6 years here. You're coming in.
Yeah.
We could give you some deals, some extra jobs over there if you support this bill.
Yeah.
But a Republican, they're gonna be like, nope, I'm not. I don't care what you offer me. I'm not voting for that.
I agree with you.
At least, I mean, we could say, well, it's gonna be a one turn. You put most likely gonna be a one turn regardless.
Yeah.
Even if you do great.
Maybe, maybe not.
Yeah, and let me throw this one more thing at
what
you.
What about who? Where's the? Is that from where John Tester was from? Is that he was from Montana?
Yeah, he was from Montana. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he did his thing over there, and they sometimes got Democrat governors and too. So you never know, man. You can't just take assume defeat from the beginning, man.
Let me show you what Bullock did as governor, because he was the governor, and that's the reason why he's so popular in that state and could win. It says, since being elected governor in 2012, Bullock passed major bills in Medicaid expansion, a dark money ban, boom, that sounds very interesting, and an infrastructure bill, boom, that's also, I would like to see an infrastructure bill, all working with Republican-controlled state legislation. Now, I would like to see what was the quality of those dark money bans and infrastructure bill. I would love to dig deeper into that to find out. But that's better than what the Republicans are giving us right now. That's for sure.
I mean, I'll take it anyway, man, because we take whatever we could get until we have a progressive president. Because if we have a progressive president, how Obama wasn't, you could push these guys to pass your progressive legislation. If Obama would have been strong against Joe Manchin, we could have had better, ACA bill. Same could happen with this guy if we have a different president, 4 years from now, that succeeds Biden. So I mean, you always gotta, take every win. We gotta stop eating our own. The only thing though is that we gotta primary the heck out of these people, man. We can't just assume, we like, all right, we together now against Trump, blah blah blah. But as soon as Trump is out, you get in primary, son.
Yeah. And let me remind you all that, based on that article that we talked about a few shows ago, where, Trump is basically going to steal this election no matter what. Remember, I brought up that example that analogy with Doctor Strange in Avengers, where he was calculating all those scenarios.
Yeah.
There was one scenario where the Avengers won. In this case, there's one scenario where we don't have a high chance of Trump robbing this election, and it's if we win the Senate and keep the House. And obviously Biden has to be elected, obviously. So if you have all three chambers, it is very, very difficult, increasingly difficult for Trump to try and steal this election. So, to your point, is it worth it? Yeah, it's absolutely worth it in this case.
One thing that's really interesting to me just about the blue wave in general is that I remember 3 years ago, 2 years ago, it wasn't even in the realm of possibility that we could win the Senate. It was like not even something that was considered. It was definitely we could keep the House, but the Senate probably is not in play. And then we'll see where we are in 2022. And the fact not only does it look like we can potentially, or I mean, I'm saying, but the Democrats could actually take the Senate as well as maintain the House and take the Senate handily. It's a positive sign that fascism will be stopped. But I'm just very concerned about what's next. So how big the original question is, how big is this blue wave going to be? I have the feeling it's going to be massive. I have the feeling it's going to be a blue tsunami. It's going to be a blue typhoon. It's going to be a massive wipeout of the Republicans and a rebuke of Trump. But what I also think is that nothing really is going to happen, and then we're going to be back in this position in 2024 running against
Well,
Ted Cruz.
because you just said it. You just said it. It's not really a blue wave. It's just a rebuke of Trump. That's really all it is. That's what's backing all this. So it's not, like you said before, it's not that people are like hopping on the blue bandwagon. We have the blue party has no policy to actually hop on with. So yeah, it's really just a rebuke of Trump. That's really all this is.
Trump beat Trump.
Remember when they took back the House, right? The Democrats took back the House in 2018, and people had so much high hopes that we'll be able to officially get Trump's tax returns. That I thought it was a no-brainer. A lot of people, that was like what we thought was going to happen day one. They never got Trump's tax return.
Well, that's because there were some Democrats that didn't want that to happen because they had the same kind of secrets in their tax returns.
Exactly. Let me go
money out of politics, man. Money out of politics.
Exactly. I'm going to go to the third article for this segment, the final one that we're going to touch on, and this is from Joseph Chow from The Hill, and it basically talks about the 12 House races. First of all, I want to ask you guys, this is a question for my political junkies. Illinois Rep. Cheri Bustos, D., saw her race against Republican Esther Joy King shift from likely Democratic to lean Democratic, the lone advancement on the list for the GOP. So here is one of the races that I'm about to show you out of the 12 that actually is going towards the Republican. But do you guys remember, and this is why I'm posing this question to my political junkies, do you remember who Cheri Bustos is? We just talked about her recently. Anybody remember who she is? All right. Nobody? All right.
You were calling Allred?
Nope. All right, I'm going to tell you. So basically, she was the person, the head of the DCCC, and we just talked about last week. Remember the policy to prevent consultants from working with progressive challengers. Remember that? That came from her.
Blacklist.
So this is exactly the DCCC blacklist. So this is some revenge, I think. Maybe, who knows? But she might get booted out. And she's the head of the DCCC. So let me go back to the article, and I'm going to show this chart. And here is basically a whole bunch of potential races that is a toss-up. Like this R is a toss-up. This R right here is a toss-up. So here's some potential R's that can hopefully go blue. We'll see what happens.
I mean, I guess, that excites me a little less just because we already have the House, or Democrats already have the House. But still, I mean, it's like Gabe said before, we can show that blue people are coming out in color, in force, then I don't know, maybe a good sign.
Well, I'm surprised.
Blue people coming out.
I'm surprised at the House. I didn't expect that. So the wave could be bigger than I expected, but I'm not as surprised at the Senate because there's a lot of, except for Alabama, we're going to lose that because Doug Jones is a centrist crap. So in a red state, so I know that wasn't going to happen. The only reason he won because he was against a pedophile. But we could flip Arizona. That looks real likely we're going to get it. Indiana, North Carolina, Maine, Susan Collins, the only Republican to vote against the Supreme Court nominee because she's running scared, and Colorado. And not to mention my state of Georgia, which could have 1, maybe 2 Senate seats, plus Biden is in a dead heat. That could be surprises. So if we could get Georgia, it's going to be a wrap, son.
Don't forget South Carolina with Lindsey crying.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a tough one, but that's close. That's closer than anybody ever expected.
If Cheri Bustos lose, I'm okay with that. Like people like that, they should lose. It's all right. We'll take that one. Yeah. And we'll vote out the Republican in 2 years. We'll have the House. So
exactly.
That's a good loss. That's what you call a good loss.
All right. To wrap that up, I know that Carlito mentioned Maine. I have to give a shout out to the Green Party candidate because they got my favorite top policy ranked choice voting they have in Maine, and Lisa Savage is running on the Green Party. So give her your first choice, and then you could give it to the Democrat if you want to.
Savage.
All right. So as I wrap this up, let us know what you think about these races. Are we going to see a big blue wave, and what you think about the quality of the blue wave? Let us know in the comment below. Like and subscribe.